Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins for the Eurotrip 9-hole cup here in Golf Clash the game. The first time we do have 9 different courses featured here in a 9-hole cup or in a tournament overall. Make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy or you scan the QR code here on the screen and you will get directly there. You can then get part of our tour guides and tournament guides and start improving already today. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that in the video I may use higher or lower clubs and also better or worse balls than you may have, but listen to my explanations and watch the setups and you will notice that you can play the setups with more or less any club that is in the game. So thank you so much. Let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 7 of Parc de Paris, we're going to either go aggressive or we're going to lay up. I would say when you play from front tee like this, the club levels obviously are very limited, whereof playing with, what can I say? Playing with a layup method is the most preferred one here. But you can cross the water, but if you're gonna cross the water, you need to make sure to go left of the trees there in the far distance and get past it. Because if you're just going over the water, and trust me, I've seen so many people in practice mode and also in regular tournaments to think that bouncing over the water on the right is actually better than laying up. That's wrong, and the reason that's wrong it's because you can't play through the trees. You have to lay up short here to either play right of the trees or you have to play underneath the trees. And I mean, that's something that is very important when it comes to course management, because that could be the difference between losing a shot or even losing a shot and keeping a shot, or even gaining a shot. So there's a lot of things there to really think about, to know, okay, when I'm going in here, if I'm gonna lay up, I'm gonna lay up very short. I'm not going to lay up on the other fairway, because then my shot is going to have to just to save the birdie, and that's really not what we're playing for. We're playing to attack the pin for an eagle, even though we might not drop it all the time. Minimum distance plus 10 for the drive. Second shot, trying to play no spin, but here playing with a club that do not have a good ball guideline is going to be difficult. So if you do have a grizzly level 7 or better, then congratulations, that's going to be making this shot much easier. 20% elevation, true club distance, and we're hitting a perfect ball. The ball will come up here and we are going right at pin for a lovely eagle here on hole 7 of Parc de Paris, also hole 1 in the Eurotrip 9-hole cups. 9-hole cup. If you do not want to go directly at the pin, you can go past the pin on either side and let the ball fall down and hope that it falls down in the hole. Another par 3 where if we go back to hole number 2, the ball guideline is going to be very important here, and as having a bad ball guideline will offer a big inconsistency in the result here. However, I would see hole number 4 to be probably the easiest of the par 3s to drop, if we can call it easy to drop a par 3. Adding 1.5 bar topspin, trying to have the ball guideline straight towards the pin. Medium distance with a 20% over adjustment, and as we're not in the need of having any side spin here, I'm using a Marlin to reduce the wind just slightly, but still played very cheap in terms of not spending any of the better balls. Center the ball and hit perfect. Bounces on the fairway over towards the green here, and we like how it zooms in like this. Maybe we can drop it. No, we cannot. We missed it left, and that's obviously, again, it looked like we were aiming straight at pin. It might be so that we are slightly off with our position or we need to add more adjust. Unfortunately, that's very hard to know, because again, replicating this position that we're having is very tough to do. In the end though, it's a safe birdie, and that's something we can live with moving on to hole 5. For Glen Monarch hole number 9, we are going to push it hard, meaning that we're going to bounce over the water and rough. You can see that in the info box I do suggest a Berserker ball instead of a Titan ball. This because the second shot will be so much easier if you can play with a power 5 ball of T. Max plus 15 is the adjustment. We are going to vary the top spin that's going to be needed to get over the water and rough here. And the reason that's going to vary, it's because we do need to control the distance. So it's going to be all from backspin to some bars of topspin. It's very difficult to give you an exact number. That's something we're going to have to explore once we know what wind angle we are playing, either in tour play or in tournament play. Now on the second shot, you can see how much valuable it would have been to have more yards, which is by using a better ball, because I'm already using the club that gives me the most power. So if I do have a power 3 ball, we do have a slight headwind, I'm gonna have to use topspin and also max overpower to try to get the ball to be either on green or on the fringe or on the fairway by the green for a simple wedge. This hole we play purely for an eagle, because the whole location here is very difficult to attack, and that's something that we're going to have in mind when playing here, that if we're trying to attack, it's most likely going to cost us more than what it will reward us. Alright, so I decided here for hole number 4 to show you an aggressive route that I do like way more than bouncing like normal here on the fairway over towards the green. So first, to have that said, if you are looking to just have a super safe birdie with a very little chance for an hole-in-one, then you bounce with your long iron on the first fairway over towards the green. But if you do want to push it and give yourself the best chance for an hole-in-one, then go for a rough bump. 3 topspin, 1 right spin, use your sniper with the yellow ring by the rough line. Adjustment is max plus 10, power 0 ball numbers. Adjustment is done. Center the ball, hit perfect. Have in mind that playing this rough bump doesn't automatically mean that just you make a minor error is going to be in the water. You do have some room for error here too, otherwise I would never suggest it. Rolls just right off the pin, which is a bit unfortunate. There is no need to play with any other ball than a Marlin. Obviously, you can reduce the wind even more to make the rough bump even more safe. But again, I wanted to focus on a bit more aggressive approach than I normally do in this hole, because I feel I want to provide you with the best possible chance for an hole-in-one. Be a tough one to drop an albatross on, and that's because we're going to have to play with a lot of elevation for the second shot. Par 5s is always tougher to drop than par 4s and par 3s, then, in my opinion. Adjust max plus 10, we play with 4.5 bar topspin and 2 bars of left spin. The goal is to get the ball to be staying safely on the fairway. One thing that I would like you to have in mind is that if you do not have the Grizzly level 7 or better, I would suggest to play shorter than what I'm doing here in the video. And the reason for that is that I would rather want to play with a sniper with a better ball guideline than having to play with a Goliath or a Grizzly or a B52 that does not have a good ball guideline. Because if we don't have a good ball guideline, this albatross will be even less possible than what it already is. So we're gonna play 20% elevation and true club distance number. And even if I played with the Goliath here in the video, the info box, I've added the sniper just because the sniper is going to be the better club to play here to maximize the chance for an albatross. Center the ball and hit perfect, and once again, even if we do have a crappy ball guideline, we're still going to have the possibility to get a drop. But hitting a great ball with a Goliath is almost like clicking the forfeit button, because that's gonna be nowhere near a drop here, because a Goliath with its bad accuracy, that's gonna move way left or way right if you do hit a great ball. In the end though, it's gonna be a simple eagle, and that's what matters the most. Hole number 4 of Greenock Point is very difficult if you do not have the club or the possibility to use a better ball. So here I'm stuck in kind of like an in-between. I have extra mile level 5, I don't really want to use a Berserker, but if I would be using a Berserker, I would have to go max overpower and try to bounce over the rough on the right hand side. But to keep this keep this video a little bit more general and also pointed towards those that do not can play with a Berserker Ball or a Power Fireball. And that is that we are bouncing over on the left hand side using max plus 10 as adjustment, pushing up and then taking our shot. The goal here is to get as far up this fairway possible. That will obviously help when it comes to the approach. Because if you cannot go over on the right hand side, I've said that every time I do design a play, or at least explaining how to play this hole here, this par 4, is that if you can't go over on the right hand side, you will most likely have to settle for a birdie in general. Because this type of play here now, even though we do have the backspin on our Saturn, is not going to be an easy one to drop. But if we can reach over on the right, we're going to have a short iron and gonna be able to use the thorn and have a much better chance for a drop. Here we're gonna have to estimate a little bit, as we have that massive slope on the green, and that's something we're going to have in mind when trying to really dig in and design a play here on the second shot. 10% elevation, playing it max numbers. And here I'm not ruling out that the adjustment here will need some tweak depending on, and obviously with a great ball doesn't really not what we want. A perfect ball would have been close, not saying it would have been in. But hole number 4 of Greenock Point is a difficult par 4 if you do not have the equipment or if you do not have the wind angle of tee. For hole number 2 of Chateau Lavande, and we're going to go with our backbone, trying to find a little sticky spot there, bouncing on the fairway. What needs to be said though, playing with a long iron with a bad ball guideline, which this is going to be difficult. And it's going to be difficult in the way that we don't really know if we're aiming at the pin or not, especially when it slopes and there is bumps and stuff like that on the fairway. We can only do our best. Max plus 10, and here I'm using katana, not really needed. We could play with a ball with less side spin if we would like that. What needs to be said as well is that there is a rough bump that you can play, which is risky, but there is a chance to play that one and could give you an easier way to attack the pin for an hole-in-one. But I mean, you need to be absolutely spot on with everything else, or you miss missing the rough. Bouncing on the fairway will always reward you with a birdie with an outside chance for an hole-in-one. Before we take a look at hole number 8, after spending almost half an hour trying to match someone and getting the no opponent message in practice, I decided to match myself with 2 on my better account, and that's why you will see better clubs than I would like to show here in Rookie. But I kept it to a lower level stats, so we can still use the play that I'm using here. 3 top spin, 3 right spin. Here I'm just going to bounce over the water on the left hand side. The reason I'm using the left and not the right is because I like the second shot better from the left. If you do have really good clubs, you could bounce over the water on the right and get yourself close to green. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible for me with the quarterback here without having to go with a power hook, and that's not really something interesting here. So even if you do have a lower level quarterback or you have any other driver, you need only 3 top spin and then obviously the 3 right spin of the ball to play the shot that you see here in the video. The second shot you can play with whatever short iron. The only difference obviously by having a better club like I'm having here in the video is that the ball guideline shows all the way, and that obviously makes a shot like this so much easier. And that's, you know, you've heard me so many times when doing videos for Rookie Division that if we're having a ball guideline, then we would be dropping more shots because we can use that as a reference. So using 1 right spin, trying to find a flat spot on the green, using 10% elevation, true club distance. And once again, you don't have to play this shot. Sorry, you can play this shot with a worse club than this, but the only difference would be that you have a very bad ball guideline and have to guess a little bit more to where to position your club. Bounces on the green up towards the pin, and we're dropping an eagle here on hole 7. On hole 7 of the Porthello Cove, which is obviously, again, not maybe with the clubs that I wanted to show, but I wanted to at least show something here because I didn't want to wait longer than I did for hole 7, Porthello Cove. Hole number 9, similar to hole 8 and in this playthrough. And here I'm using clubs that are higher than I would love to show. But again, the struggling with finding opponents in practice have me to go this route here as well, to display something at least. So we start here by playing with a driver, preferably to give us a good accuracy. So we don't have to play with extra mile level 9. You can play with a rock. You can also play with the quarterback here, as we are going to use a power 5 ball. The only time it's going to be crucial to play with a driver with more power, such as extra mile, Thor's Hammer or Apocalypse, would be if you do have a headwind. Max plus 15, and I'm using 2 bars of backspin here. The goal is to get the ball to stay on the fairway, obviously, and not roll down. So it's important. You can see here now that it slopes very drastically downhill there, so it is important to not come in with too much speed. From here we are going to play with a wood club here, preferably the wood club with the most power, but also with the best ball guideline. The big dog obviously is a club that regardless what level you have it in, you're gonna have a lot of power, which means that you're going to be having an easy way of getting yourself to the green. This is not a par 5 where we're dropping albatrosses left and right. We're gonna get the eagle mainly, and there's gonna be more people getting a birdie here than what there will overall be albatrosses. If you want to go for the pin, aim with all the left spin, aim close to the rough. Max plus 50 is the adjustment. I would say like this: if you're not interested in taking any risk whatsoever, move yourself a bit more right and just land it on green for a simple putt. Because once again, even though if you aim correctly, there's still going to be a lot of luck involved if you're gonna drop an albatross. So unfortunately, shown with big boy clubs, but that's to display something at least to how to play hole number 9 of Whitecliff. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wind for the Eurotrip 9-hole cup in Golf Clash the game. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the side or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy and get our ultimate tournament guides or our exclusive tour text guides. Once again, thank you for watching. Good luck in the Golf Clash game.